There he is, my partner in crime.
How's it going, Slugger?
You know, Dan, if I was any better, I'd cancel my OHIP. How you been?
Same. OHIP's already canceled.
Jeremy, how you doing, my friend? Nice to have you along with us tonight. We have quite a bit to discuss. I don't know if it's going to take the whole hour to get there, but first and foremost, how's the weather up your way?
It's chilly. We had snow yesterday. Little community north of us there, Elliott Lake. You might have heard of that. They actually got accumulation snow. Actually, if you look on Facebook, I think it was Tunnel Lake Lodge had a pretty impressive picture. It looked like Christmas Day, basically.
No way.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, it's kind of gone. It's kind of cold. It's kind of I think we have +10 today. It's rainy, but forecast looks great for this weekend. It's nice and warm.
And I was going to get to that. So whatever we're having to endure, like right now, the weekend is going to open up. You know what? And for the amount of weekends that we've had to struggle, whether you're a shore angler, whether you've been out targeting walleye, maybe perch fishing, pike fishing, it has been a grind. I would say for the last month for those anglers. They are finally going to get some reprieve this weekend because I heard we might even have to turn on the air conditioning down here on Monday and Tuesday. We're going to get down to up to 28.
Wow. Yeah, we're forecasting, I think, 18 or something on Saturday and on that time frame. So it's a big jump. It's May. We've had Mays like that. It's not the first time I've experienced snowflakes this time of year, and then all of a sudden +20 in the afternoon. So it's May weather up here. It's kind of weird.
It's awesome. Well, before we there we go. Pete, how you doing, buddy? We missed you on Monday. Nice to see you. Boats are all ready for. I bet it is, pal. I bet it is, and I know exactly what you're going after. So all the best to that, and hopefully you catch a few. We've added a few more promo videos, one of which we have not added yet, but we did add the JR's Pizza in Blind River, and you know what? I'd like you to just, because last year, as I said in the post, we were overwhelmed at how generous this group was. Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, the last week was kind of a scramble for us because when you have a liquor license, there's certain requirements for food that you have to have. And we had a plan, and that plan fell apart on us. So we went scrambling. And we actually, in the last week, pulled together something pretty amazing. And it started with JR's Pizza and Blind River coming through for us for the rules meeting. And they got that ball rolling for us. And it was delicious. And we can't thank them enough that when we approached them for this year, they immediately said yes. They're welcome to help us out. We're glad to have them.
Cool. Well, as I said, I was overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed for having something fall apart like it did. And to have these folks step up, like, dude, talk about filling a void. How many slices of pizza did participants, volunteers, yourself, like a lot of people went home with pizza. We couldn't possibly have eaten it all.
Everybody gained weight that weekend. There was look, people weren't realizing that, you know, we were feeding people. We had meals all 3 nights. Not only that, you guys were doing the breakfast sandwiches in the mornings. Thanks to Nick's mom's Rudy for helping you out, and my ex-wife and my daughter and everything else who put a lot of effort into that. So we couldn't thank very much. And I remember people saying, like, and they had pizza for lunch because we had some left over, so we were giving it away. So it worked out very well, and we're hoping to repeat that this year. So if you're thinking about signing up, you're not just getting a fishing tournament. We're getting an experience is what we're trying to give everybody.
100%. And I'll upload that while you're talking about our next sponsor. They're new to the NCAA, not new to you and not new to a lot of folks up in the Espanola area. But tell us a little bit about Fishy Fishy Bang Bang.
Yeah, they've been around, I want to say 10 years or so. The original owner sold it last year to Rob. Rob's a brand new owner for this. He took over right around the time we were getting involved with this, with our tournament last year, looking for sponsorship. So this year when I was able to approach him, he had a better comfort of what he was doing, and he gladly jumped on board immediately. Not only did he jump on board with the NCWO, I keep saying double O, event.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, but he also jumped on board with one of our qualifying events in our online event starting this weekend, obviously. So we were very thankful for the whole crew. They're very nice people. I like everybody there, and I don't remember the other names, but I'll get to them at some point. But they're very good people to walk into and talk fishing, and they're very engaging. And yeah, they're ramping up. They're doing a lot around the community around Espanola, and a lot of people know them. And they're fishy bang when their logo, you see it everywhere in the back of cars and trucks and boats. So it's
and they're not just fishing. They do there's a hunting element there as well, correct?
that's the Bang Bang. Yeah, they sell firearms and bows and ammunition out there. They're a small little shop. They're actually located behind the GM dealership. They're they're not hard to get to. And they got all your bait needs. So if you're going to Manitoulin or anything like that, that's a place that everybody stops in on the way through. If that's your last stop, especially that fishery around Espanola is actually really phenomenal, to be quite honest, for any species. That whole system back there.
Right on. Well, we'll be playing that ad probably tomorrow, because usually on CFN it's always a theme day. Mondays are always Monster Monday. Tuesdays are all about trout. Wednesdays, of course, are all about walleye, and then Thursday we have a bit of a gap. But we like to share some of what's going on with the NCWO, and we will make sure that we do that on Thursday. But also, I wanted to get you to talk about these folks. I can't say enough about how they stepped up to the plate last year, and of course, they're doing the same thing again this year.
Lots of positive to say about that whole organization, and then that company's been growing dramatically. That's so NXS Plastics. That's actually our house brand with GFW Distributing that I am a part of. So it's actually named after Eric's son, so Nicholas Xavier. It's where the NXS part comes from. So these plastics have been around for about 20 years. We are a Canadian-based company out of Ottawa, and all the plastics that they've done and they worked with, I've been more focused on the colors and patterns of. It's a pretty standard pattern. Plastic molds are very, very tough. They're very durable. They're flexible. A lot of guys like to use them because they last a long time. But the colors have been more deemed towards our waters. And when I say our waters, a lot of our inland lakes are a little bit darker colors. And so they've kind of geared that way. So we do have some unique colors that tend to work pretty good. And they all infused too with anise oil. And I can't remember the scent that they'd put in there. I think they've changed now, but I don't want to get carried away on that. And as for a price point, they're among the best in the business. A really good price point for that. I use a lot of them, and I'm not really much of a plastic guy by all means. I'm a live bait guy. I love using live bait. Grew up using it, so it's been a harder transition for me, especially in the walleye world. But the bass guys have been showing me a lot of stuff that I've been learning a lot by. And these plastics have been a great twist for that.
Well, I have to say I was sold. I did the Canada-US walleye. Was it last year, or the year before, with moose, and there was a perch pattern that I believe our good buddy Nick gave me a pack of, and thank God I had them because that was the only thing they wanted. We literally threw everything we could at them. That was the only plastic they wanted, was that perch pattern. And so I have nothing but accolades for NXS.
And some of them too, we have the glow patterns as well. And Taro Murado actually, unbeknownst to us, we just kind of stumbled upon it. So we have a YouTube video of him last year fishing on Lake Erie using the Halloween glow, I think it was, and he was snapshooting walleyes while they were trolling. So and he did a great job with them. So we thank him very much for that. It was nice of him to do that. But it just goes to show the versatility of these baits, and especially I've seen some guys up here like Frankie and Rob LaFrancois, those guys. They're phenomenal. And when you put that kind of plastic in their hands, they're very, very deadly with it.
Good stuff. Well, we thank NXS, JR's Pizza, and of course, Fishy Bang Bang for supporting the NCOO. And before we move on to that, there's some important, it's an important note that we need to pass along to everybody who is looking to participate in the NCWO this year, because we are giving away an early bird prize, and we're a couple weeks away, Dan, from this?
I think we're 11 days away. The 24th, I believe is the date. So we're 11 days away from our first early bird prize. So if you haven't registered, get registered to qualify for this. And it's a beautiful Milwaukee tool set from Interline. So, and we have 3 of those to give away. So this is the first set, Ria. Look at that. mean, just alone, that's a great prize pack to start off. So where do we start your NCAA experience with a nice prize pack like that, eh?
Absolutely. And of course, the theme behind it all is, as we've mentioned many times already on the Power Hour, is we want to help you guys get some of those things that you've been sort of putting off. Maybe you didn't have the right tool, maybe you didn't have the time, but at the end of the day, you know, it's getting old. It hasn't been addressed. We want to help you get it done. We want to help you not have to sleep on the couch and make excuses to your significant other. So see, the NCAA and of course Interline are going to step up to the plate and help you get some of that stuff done. So register today. Of course, we will be posting it. If you haven't seen it already, it will be pinned on the North Channel Walleye Open page, as well as CFN. You'll see it everywhere. But lots of opportunity, lots of information. And if there's any questions that you might have, by all means, do not hesitate to reach out to Danny or myself. Speaking of Danny, holy smokes, 25 yesterday, maybe 20 centimeters of snow on the way in Alberta. Wow.
That sounds terrible.
And this is what I'm talking about.
Sounds mucky, actually. It sounds really mucky. 25 and then snow.
Jeez, what a mess.
I feel for you guys. I do.
Absolutely. How you doing, Richard? Nice to have you along as well. So that pretty much wraps up any of the updates we have for the NCWO. But we have something that's going to be happening and starting this weekend, Dan. And if I'm not mistaken, you only have hours before you can register.
We have approximately 46 hours left and counting. So Friday at 5 p.m. is the deadline. Once the deadline is meet, you cannot register beyond that, as it's a weekend series. So only those that are registered. And it's also a qualifier. So this is our first qualifier of the event, sponsored by Moxie's Bait and Tackle out of Lively, Ontario, just outside of Sudbury here. And we currently have 7 people registered. So the odds of the top 5 moving on are extremely good. So we need some more people to sign up. There's been a lot of people that messaged us and were asking questions about including zones, including all kinds of stuff. So we did all of that. And now it's your turn to sign up. And we hopefully get everybody involved. We have cash prizes to give away. We also have all the prizes to give away out there. Remember, if you're qualifying to fish a championship, only 20 people will fish for that championship in July, and you'll be fishing for a 2,200 watt Honda generator. I don't have the retail on that, but I don't want to guess, but I know it's quite well. It's a Honda product. So, and plus there's going to be cash as well involved with that. And all of Ontario, you can fish anywhere you want, anywhere you're comfortable with. We have our rules are all listed up there. They're very straightforward. Follow your local regs. That's all that matters. Catch and record, release. And your 3 biggest walleye puts you on the leaderboard.
So maybe what we'll do is after we get through some of these announcements, we will do a question period. And maybe we'll just do kind of like a rapid fire between the NCAA weekend series and the upcoming Compre Conquer All. Because there were some great questions that were asked by Connor Hall today on our NCAA page. And I think, you know what, we'll follow along with some of the questions he had, because it might be the same questions a lot of folks have, and we can address them as we go. Before we get to that, our good buddy Mike Consul has something to say, and I'll share that with us now.
Hey everyone, Michael Consul here. Sorry I can't be with you today, but I have 2 questions for you. 1, have you seen the new 2026 Shimano Compre? Wow. That is an amazing rod. You got to go check it out. We're going to play some YouTube videos. We'll show you. But the new Shimano Compre is, one of those things that you just have to have in your arsenal. And you can win it in the Shimano Compre Conquer All Challenge. So question number 2 is, are you fishing anytime between May 30th and July 1st? If the answer is yes, then you can win a Shimano Compre. Because what we're going to do with Shimano and CFN partnering together, we're putting on the Shimano Compre Conquer All Challenge. And all you got to do is catch 1 of 17 different panfish. Because the tagline is small fish, big prizes. And what are those big prizes? Well, we're going to give away 5 Shimano Compres. On top of that, we're going to give away a combo, a Compre with a Vanford. On top of that, we're going to give another combo, a Compre with a Shimano Miraval. and all you have to do is catch a panfish. So you can catch a perch, you can catch a rock bass, you can catch a moon eye. Any fish that is small across the nation is probably on our eligibility list. So all these details you could read at cfnfishoff.com, and you can sign up now. It's free. Imagine catching a rock bass and winning a Shimano Compre paired with a van fruit, and all you got to do is fish. You're going to be fishing anyways between May 30th and July 1st. So you might as well enter the Shimano Compre Conquer All Challenge. Go to cfnfishoff.com and sign up today. All the information is there. Or you can go to anglersatlas.com/events and you could register today. It's free. Go fishing, win some prizes, and join the Compre Conquer All Challenge.
Thanks, Mike. Even though he couldn't be here, obviously he is up doing what Mike does best. And a lot of folks don't realize that he's a teacher. He's head of the youth and molding and fostering some of the young people in the Catholic high schools down in Toronto. So he is an active guy, very, very busy. And the fact that we even are able to do this is kind of a surprise to me. But nonetheless, it's getting done. And for the sake of the community and for the sake of you anglers, giving you an option to do some fishing and win some prizes. So cool stuff. Dan, obviously we have a deadline, as you mentioned, this Friday. That is at 5 o'clock, I believe, is the shutdown for this. And
yeah,
the first
5 p.m. on Friday. And yeah, absolutely. Just go on to Fish Donkey, download the app, log in. There's so many tournaments out there, and you can fish multiple events. But find the NCAA Weekend Series, as the title goes, and sign up for one of the qualifiers, and hopefully for the first one, especially with the May long starting this weekend, and the Walleye are here, so it should be a good time for everybody in this area. And to Michael's point, while we're walleye fishing, especially in the river here, we've caught some monster rock bass. It's kind of surprised us how big some of them have been. So there wouldn't be surprised if someone won with a rock bass, to be quite honest with you.
Well, interesting. And it's a great segue to my next question. And of course, when it comes to some of these smaller fish, and this is kind of the cool thing about the fish off, is we try to target species of fish that people don't necessarily catch, nor do they have any idea how to catch them. So not only are you learning, but you're getting excited. I don't know how many testimonials that we have where people will say, I have never been so excited to catch a creek chub in my life as we were in the CFN fish off. So with that being said, what is the biggest yellow perch that you've caught? Dan, do you know?
Yeah, my personal best is 15 inches. That's the biggest perch I've ever caught. Been lucky to get a few of them, but oddly enough, I've never caught one that big targeting perch though. They've all been incidental catches as well. I was walleye fishing usually is when I catch them. So I do go after perch, one of my favorite panfish to go after. But 15 is my biggest.
That's a big perch. Holy
it is. Yeah, that's. I'm sure there's bigger than that, and some of these systems they're pretty rare up here. But I actually got one last fall, so that was the last time. I've been years before I got one that big. But
jeez, crappie. What's the biggest crappie you got?
Crappie, I haven't gotten those big pie plates like everybody else. I've been like 12 and a half, 13 inch, about the biggest I've caught. I personally know guys that have gotten 15, 16 inches, so I know they're around. I'm not one of them.
Now here's a question. I don't necessarily need to know if you've caught a big one or a personal best. I just need to know, Dan, have you caught one of each of these sunfishes?
I've caught some, yes. I have. Not all 4 species, though. I've caught bluegill, and I've caught, they call them pumpkin seed, but I'm not sure which. I think it's the bottom one.
Yeah, you've got pumpkin seed. You've got your bluegill. You've got your, I think it's the red belly sunfish, and I can't remember what the 4th one is.
No, that being said, I probably caught some as a kid, and they're all sunfish in my opinion back then. So
just give me a second. I will verify that because I don't want to see.
One of the things too that I'm really excited about this when you think about it, like I just said, you catch this when we were kids. So this is dock fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
We were walking up the dog, we were catching rock bass, we were catching sunfish, perch, everything was in there. And So it was a lot of fun, and that's what I spent my afternoons doing. Is any opportunity I had, there was a rod in my hand, I was off a dock or outside of a boat.
100%. So the top one, obviously, as I mentioned, is pumpkin seed. The one just below that is a bluegill. And then there's the green sunfish. And I want to thank Jeremy for stepping up, the green sunfish. And last but not least, this is the one where I said red. It's the red breast sunfish, not red belly. So as I said, those 4 species are available. And the cool thing is we did this with the intent that everybody across this country will be able to catch and target at least 4 species of fish. So regardless of where you live, you'll be able to guarantee yourself, if you have access, to at least put in 4 ballots a day, because it's driven by making sure that you catch each species once and only once per day to get a ballot. But cool stuff.
You get them big enough and you're willing to clean them, they are delicious too.
They absolutely.
Oh my God.
There's Dan, he caught him off the government docks. See, and this is the thing, when we were kids, so there's an underlying element there. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it is about promoting the new Compre line of rods, but this is also about, grandmas, grandpas, moms, dads, neighbors. Get your kids out fishing. And you get to win some prizes along with it. So,
yeah. And it makes it look because we were kids, like we were finding, creeks and ditches and ponds and wherever we can walk out to or bike to fish. So, I to me, when I think of this, I think kayak anglers are just going to love this.
It's funny too. I don't know. I don't know how many people we have signed up already, but the reception has been pretty good. I will say. But I don't know how many of them are kayak anglers, to your point.
Yeah.
And you're right, 100%. This is geared for folks on kayaks. So hopefully we do get quite a few of them. And if we get some hero shots, and a hero shot is basically anything that you catch that is eligible in terms of the species that are available, just show your Shimano product. It could be a knife, could be a hat, could be a shirt, could be, whatever. The rod itself. We do hero shots during the CFN Fish Off, so anybody that has participated in the CFN Fish Off, you know what it's all about. It's basically just a shot with the product, and that is your submission. You get a chance to win a Compre rod as well as a Vanford reel. So kind of a cool prize. We'll be giving that away at the end of the event. And then, of course, the video draw. This is where if you have caught one of the species with an actual Compre rod. So perhaps there's a bunch of you out there that already own a Compre rod. If you catch your sunfish, if you catch your perch, your rock bass, if you catch it with one of these Compre, you will just say I caught it using my Shimano Compre, and you'll be eligible to win a Compre rod as well as a Mirville reel. So some cool stuff. And then, of course, as Mike said, we have 5 of these Compre rods to give away at the end of it. They're just going to be given away random. The more ballots you have, the better your chances of winning. Which, we get back to the NCWO weekend event, with 9 people signed up, as you said. Like, you got some really good chances to win. You got and not only win, but qualify for the championship event.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's more or less kind of the thinking behind this was like, we always have competition on the weekends with our buddies. We're all fishing out there. So now we get to just have an app control it, and then we can win some cash on top of that. So, it was easy to convince Tyler. I'm like, hey, man, what do you think about doing this? He's like, I love the idea. I'm in. So this is what we can do for you. So that meeting was pretty quick. So we were able to throw this together surprisingly fast, and wish we would have thought about it sooner to really pump its tires more as we get going. But that being said, we are working on more projects and we are going in more directions, but obviously the first one kind of tells what direction we want to do. So, getting feedback from anglers and people telling us what they like and what they want to see, absolutely, that's what we're here for. This is fun for us. I really enjoy this. We don't make any money off doing this, and we don't get anything from it at all, period. Like this is really a fundraiser for the NCAA, because there's costs associated for that in-person one. So we're doing this to help that out. So I enjoy doing this. I like seeing what people are catching and what they're doing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't get the waypoints, so I don't know where the picture was taken, where you caught it. That's Fish Donkey keeps that information. But it's and that being said, so does Anglers Atlas. I know them; they also do the same thing. But it's a lot of fun to see that, and then it's pretty impressive what people can do. And it's we all love to show and tell. We love to brag, right?
Absolutely. So this is strictly a walleye species event. But are you thinking of perhaps maybe doing a multi-species event as well, Dan? You had mentioned that before to me.
Well, we're more than thinking of it. We've actually launched it yesterday. So we do have, it's called the Ontario Triple Crown. It starts June 27th and runs till July 31st. And it's a walleye, bass, and pike category, all of Ontario as well. And we just figured we'd try it off and get away from just being walleye, and just trying to see where everybody's favor is. And at the end of the day, too, I grew up as a multi-species angler. I grew up chasing pike and bass, and I'm starting to go back into those roots. I love walleye fishing. It's definitely where my heart is, but I'm actually doing some bass tournaments this year, and we're actually actively targeting bass more often because they are fun to catch. I mean, nothing beats a ditch pickle.
Absolutely. And I know you and I had talked about that possibly in the coming years, depending on how the NCWO does, we would insert a multi-species event with the intent of a triple crown, just because up there. I don't need to say this to you because you already know, but for anybody who has not visited the Spanish area and fished those waters, you're really missing out, because it is a unique fishery that is home to your next personal best. I can almost guarantee it.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen many a big walleye. And I've definitely not caught the biggest walleye here. I've seen many bigger than what I've personally caught, and I fish a lot out there, and it's not difficult, especially this time of year. I've had game wardens telling me that they've seen 18-pounders in a 12-foot tinner. So guys caught them. They're here. There's a lot of them, and we always kind of joke. We always say we can rival Maeve Quint. I say that with a smile on my face. I mean, we can catch more fish than you can imagine. You've seen it personally. You can have 100 fish days here, all in that 20 to 25 inch range, no problem. So that's why we say that. As for catching 30 inches, you're not going to beat Quint. I mean, Quint's going to catch way more 30s, but you're going to catch 30s here quite often, 29s and 30s, and especially in that September and on period. I don't know how many we've seen come into the scales that were 29 to 30. There were so many that came in, and so it's not uncommon. And I've done it I've done it 2 casts in a row, got to 30 inches, because that's just the number of fish there is here. And that being said, the amount of bass that's here, the fishery is phenomenal. You can go on YouTube, and Bob Azumi's been here. We've got Fishing Canada's been here. Everybody's been here. I've filmed multiple with different people in here, showing them around. So it's a great fishery. Manitoulin's right beside us. We have that whole background. We have rainbow trout. We actually caught guys pre-fishing. We were actually debating about having a little side pot for that because we got so many rainbows chasing walleye. So it's just kind of one of those weird scenarios because you never know what you're going to catch. You never know what you're going to see. Sturgeon. We chased a lot of sturgeon some days, which sucks because they don't bite. And then the odd muskie that just decides to steal everything you own, and when they go from that. But it's pretty exciting. So yeah, we've talked about changing the dynamic of the tournament again. I'm doing the NCAA in-person event. I'm doing this for the town, for the community. I'm trying to bring tourism here. I want to bring more people here. And what last year was a success. I mean, the businesses were here were very happy with what they saw because we're a very small community. It's all tourism based. So that's kind of what helps. And I have a lot of fun doing it. It's nice to fish in my hometown and fish competitively. But at the end of the day, if registration wanes, then we're going to go on a different avenue, whether it's multi-species or bass. We're going to try and find that niche that people are happy with, because we've definitely given it our all in the experience when you're here. And a lot of people have, not just me and Scottie. I can easily list about 15 of us that have worked our asses off to get to that point. So that's our reward. You guys showing up.
100%. Speaking of the community, of course, there's two that come to mind right away. Gambles, obviously, they benefited large, not just from the purchase of some of the products inside their grocery store, but also the gas, just the fuel alone. I can't imagine how much fuel they sold that weekend.
And we also have, so I'm First Nation as well, and the reserve that I'm part of is First Nation right next door, and they have a massive fuel pump system. So they had an enormous amount of people going through their numbers that also went up. And then we also have a bait store here, Sure Catch Baits. So Rob had done well. He was actually in the parking lot selling minnows right there for the anglers. So you have to go looking for bait. He came, found you, made sure that you're ready to go in the morning. While we were giving out coffee, we were giving out minnows. Well, selling minnows anyways, but it went very well. And the feedback we got from the local restaurant, so the North Channel Pizza, which Jeff was happy. There are a lot of people in there. It's kind of some of the meetings we've been having, or I shouldn't say the meetings, but the discussions we've been having with the community members. They're gearing things around it now. This only second year, and they're already talking about, well, we should do stuff like that, as well as, like, they have big mud runs here with the bikes, so they're working around those as well. So I'm not the only one trying to bring more people here in different aspects. So we're all trying to coincide, because, like I said, we're a small town, and I'm born and raised here, so I got a fault of mine. I just you want to do something with it.
Well, the nice thing I love about your community is everybody jumps on board, and when you've got that many folks pushing in the right direction, it's amazing what you're able to move. So I want to thank everybody, whether it's on the council, your wonderful mayor, or any of the other folks that are really pumping the tires of this and helping make this a special and successful event. Big tip of the hat to you, because we couldn't do it without you, and it's amazing. Something that was a seed that was planted in me, that Dad planted. I've watched it grow, and it was awesome to see it blossom into the event that it was last year. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes this year. It's
an amazing fishery, and the facilities we have, the marina and the complex, it's just perfect for all of this. We have accommodation for everything. So this year the outside deck will be built. They're building it right now, or rebuilding it right now, I should say. So we'll have that back to us. And Vance's, I was just there the other day at Vance's Resort, and they're extremely excited to have you and Chantal and Christelle there again. They're really looking forward to having you guys stay over. So awesome. It's good to hear that. It's good to see that. And I think we're gearing up. Everything's looking like we're gonna repeat numbers as last year, if not go over. So I'm excited for that. We're all looking forward to that, and we understand the economic plight, because I'm living through it, no different than anybody else is.
No kidding.
Blind ignorance, right? We're not, fishermen. We're not financially responsible. We're financially irresponsible, right? So,
absolutely. And of course, one other vendor in town that did really, really well. In fact, they did so well they had to get an emergency run sent up to the LCBO. They didn't realize that how much was actually going to be purchased. Yeah. And I remember going in there, and they were panicking. They're like, "We're running out of this. We're running out of that." Yeah. About that.
It's a good problem to have, right?
Absolutely. How you doing, Christelle? Nice to have you along tonight. So let's get into the rapid fire, Dan. As I said, I want to thank Connor Hall. He was the one that kind of inspired this for tonight, because it was basically just a bunch of questions that he had asked, and I just think it's a great opportunity to recap what we've already talked about. Of course, first and foremost, we are talking about the NCWO Weekend Series. Starts this weekend. Sign up basically closes this Friday at 5 p.m. We currently have, I believe, 9 people that already signed up, Dan. So I like your chances.
9, I gotta check again, but we're around that. We were kind of hoping to get in that 10 to 20 range, so there's still time for us to get to our goal and build up.
But if you're looking to qualify for the championship, this is the weekend, because people obviously haven't heard. Let's maybe keep it quiet. So that a lot of these folks can advance. But if you got 9 people, you've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting qualified. That's awesome.
You got like a 55% chance you're going to make it, and we're taking 5 from every category. So once you've qualified, if you fish all 4 events, we're just going to pick the next person until we get our 20 anglers for the championship.
Absolutely.
You can take cash after that.
So first question that Connor asked was, anywhere in zone 10 or 14 you're allowed to submit walleye or catch walleye?
Yeah, he may have seen the post before we changed the rules, but we've changed that, so we've included all zones in Ontario. So anywhere walleye is open, you can go. And as far as I know, this Friday is the last Herpel. Most zones are already open, but I think in Northern Ontario everything opens on Saturday. It opens. So to come that point, there's no worries about refishing. And so once you get going with that, just pick your water.
There you go. All right. So same question, the Compre Conquer All Challenge. This is open to anybody in Canadian waters. So coast to coast, east to west, north to south. This is open to all Canadian anglers, and the species are as such. These are your freshwater species. Of course, we mentioned it earlier about the sunfish variety. You've got your bluegill, you've got your pumpkin seed, of course, you've got your green sunfish and your red breast sunfish. So those are 4 species that are very readily available all across Canada. Getting into some of the other freshwater species, of course, yellow perch. I think they're prevalent in just about every province. White perch, more so to the Great Lakes, but you can find them in certain areas and waterways. Black crappie are very popular, of course, and then, of course, white crappie as well. So these are some of your freshwater species, and then, of course, white bass is also included, and then I believe moon eye, and the last one is golden eye. You ever caught a golden eye, Dan?
I've never caught a golden eye. I don't even know if we have them.
Either.
I think that's more of a northwestern Ontario westward kind of thing. I think they're more
prevalent.
Yeah,
they're very prevalent in Manitoba. You see lots of them in Manitoba. So that is the freshwater species. Now, for you folks on the coast, we didn't exclude you. We thought of you as well. We wanted to make sure that we had some saltwater species. So you have your sea perch or cunner, delicious fish. Pile perch is another species of fish. You've got your red tail surf perch, which are pretty prevalent over on the west coast more so than the east, and shiner perch, where they're prevalent anywhere salt and brackish water are. So those are your 4 species that if you are a saltwater angler or you live on the coast, you are eligible to catch. And of course, there are no zones. It's basically Canadian waters. You have to catch them in Canadian waters. All right, next question, Dan. Measuring tape or board? What do you prefer? What do you allow? What is good to
go? For us, it's manufactured boards only. So anything you can buy, we do favor anything that related to CFN fish off as well as NXS products. We all use them, so we all like those boards. But yeah, any board you can buy, it's good to go. If you're not sure, send us a picture. I've already actually got a couple of pictures, and we said, "Yep, that's good." We don't want the tape measures. We don't want the tape on the side of the boat, and the reason for that is, or even homemade ones, they're difficult to be accurate. So so we want to make sure the accuracy is there because we don't want any conflicts coming on the line if it's something comes close, obviously. So nowadays, I believe pretty much everybody has something manufactured, but yeah.
No, good answer. And of course, it's very similar to us. There are some boards that we prefer that don't need a lot of attention when it comes to certification. These folks, Go Large Fish Rulers, they are the official bump board of CFN. So if you are participating in any CFN events, Go Large Fish Rulers, we do not need to calibrate, certify, or even look at them. We just know that if you have bought one of them, they are legit. And also we have handlebars, musky lure, their tape measures, or their bump boards, and NXS. So there's 3 of them that we basically we don't want to say that you have to have those. It just makes it a lot easier to validate them.
We're familiar with them. We know them.
That's right. Exactly. All right. So that's a great question. Thanks so much, Connor, for that. Next question is, how many fish can I submit per day in the NCAA weekend series?
So with the NCAA, there is no limit. You can put as many as you want, so you are able to cull. We are just going to be the Apple, just recognize your 3 longest, add them to your leaderboard, and convert them. So, you can always upsize if you can up until the deadline.
Right on. Somewhat similar. The only thing is you are only limited to 1 submission per species per day. So you can go out and catch as many sunfish as you want, but you can only submit 1 pumpkin seed, 1 green, 1 red-breasted, and 1 bluegill in order to gain a ballot. So you're only allowed 1 ballot per species, and then you could catch all 12 if you want. If you have access to it, we're certainly not asking people to travel ridiculous kilometers, especially with gas prices the way they are. So we'll limit that to your imagination and, play within your limits, as they say. But only one fish per day can equal one ballot. All right, next question. And the top 5 from the first 4 move on to the championship?
I think it referred to as my response was that, like it's the top 5 anglers, the winning anglers from each event. You automatically qualify for the next one. If you've decided that you want to fish multiple events, which you can fish all 4 if you want, but you've already qualified, we just skip past you and then we take the next person, because some people just like the competitive side of it and they want to win some cash every week, so they try that as well. So, but at the end of the day, when the championship rolls around, we're going to have 12 or 20 individual separate people fishing against each other for that generator.
That's cool. Wow. And of course, with the Compre Challenge, it runs from May 30th to July 1st. After July 1st comes and goes, we will then be doing our random prizes. We will be picking the hero shots. We'll be picking the video draw, and we'll be giving all those prizes away on Attorney Tuesday. Will we do recaps here on the POW'er Hour on Wednesdays, Dan, in regards to what goes on with the NCWO weekend series?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we'll keep going on. If you have questions, like I said, and you want to send them off to myself or Scottie, we're going to kind of keep notes, things, and some of the ones that we find interesting, we're like, oh, that's a good question. Other people may not know that. We're going to bring them up exactly like we did tonight. And it also, that kind of stuff helps us kind of design these events and move into a way. So we encourage that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So typically Mike and I do Tourney Tuesdays. Perhaps we'll see if we can combine the two so that we are filling up the entire POW'er Hour with both events. And as I said, we will do whatever we can to recap, highlight, and promote some of the great things that are going on in both events. Because as I say, there are going to be a lot of fish that are going to be caught, and we want to see them and we want to show them off.
I'm just going to say, when we get those hero shots, this is where we'll be, look what they're catching, and we'll be broadcasting this. We will be sharing that on our social platforms, but we will definitely be putting them in this year. And that's what kind of gets, like I said, that's what kind of gets me excited. The more I talk about fishing now with the weather and the boat in the yard, I'm getting pumped, and I'm able to get out now, so I'm really excited.
Well, you said that just before we went live. You want to go fishing. I get the feeling. I totally get the feeling. So without further delay, as I said, we are almost ready to wrap up here. Make sure, if you are interested in getting involved in the NCWO weekend series, you have till Friday at 5:00 to register. After that, the first qualifying event is good to go, and you will not be able to qualify. You will not be able to register for Q2 until is there going to be a registration?
You can register for Q2 right now. You can register.
Now, okay.
You can register for all of them right now. The registration for the other events will not be blacked out until the event starts, obviously. But you're good to go. But there's 2 apps everybody should have on their phone right now, and that's Fish Donkey and Anglers Atlas, and they're free, by the way. You don't have to pay for the apps. They're free. You log in, create your account. Once you depict your event, everything's handled through the apps. Both of them, I've used both of them personally. They are very easy to use. It's not a problem there. So they have good tutorials. Oh, geez, that's a tough one for me tonight. And as we bring things up, and I think once a lot of people realize once they try, I actually find some of the Facebook events we do to be more complicated than doing it through this. Just my own personal 2 cents there.
Absolutely. And of course, with the Compre Challenge, it starts May 30th. It doesn't mean that you're not able to register during the event, because sometimes people will see certain fish being caught and think, well, wait a minute, I got those down at the end of the dock. All I got to do is go catch one of these. Well, you know what? It may be June 1st. If you want to still qualify, you want to still register, by all means, you can do so. So a little bit more flexibility with the Compre Conquer All Challenge. And of course, it speaks to different kinds of anglers. If you're just like, someone like myself and wants to go out and have some fun and maybe win some prizes, the Compre Conquer All Challenge speaks to that. Not a huge investment, obviously. It's just your time. But if you want to win some cash prizes and some really good prizes, as Danny has mentioned, especially for the championship, you might want to just go up a notch. You might want to, test your skills. And right now, as I said, there's lots of space available. So you've got some great options here if you are an Ontario or Canadian angler.
And all qualifiers are sponsored by different companies. So top 3 prizes in each one get also sponsored prizes. So Moxie's is the first one. We have Fishy Bang Man, which is our second one. We have the Trading Post Saint Marie's our third, and Sure Catch Baits sponsoring our fourth one. So there's not just cash; it's a lot of fun. So you have options here. You can fish a free event with the Compre Challenge and have a good time, get used to it, get rolling with, get yourself comfortable, and then you can move on to this end and paid entry and receive cash payouts.
Right on. Well, I think that wraps everything up. I don't see any other questions in the comments, so I think we've answered anything that could possibly have come to mind. If you do have any other questions, by all means, reach out to either Danny or I. We will do our best. If we don't have the answer, we will certainly find it for you. Any last words, Dan?
For everybody who's already signed up for the all of these events, thank you very much. We do appreciate that, and bring your friends.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for the POW'er Hour. We will see you again next week because we're going to find out how everything went on the weekend with our good friend Dan and all of the participants of the NCWO. Keep in mind, Friday, 5 o'clock is the last basic time that you can register for this weekend's event. So don't freaking delay. All right, Dan, you have yourself a great week, buddy. We'll be chatting. All right.